Welcome, one and all, to Millican Field here in lovely Throwtown, Ramona, Oklahoma. We're here for the 2026 edition of the Ramona World Invitational. One of the best throws meets you're ever going to see. And this year, the lineups are absolutely stacked to the gills. Let's take a walk as we talk about what we already saw today on Thursday, this first day of competition. And if you can't tell by my hair, the Ramona winds are here in full force. We had some discus competitions go down today. The men's competition, absolutely ridiculous. 6 men go over 70 meters, led by Matty Denny, 74.04, his third performance at 74 meters or better. But joining him in that 74-meter club, Germany's Steven Richter. The youngster goes 74 flat in round 3, becoming the 4th man to ever throw the discus 74 meters. Although he throws 74 meters on the dot, still 8 centimeters off of his national record, which is, of course, the former world record held by Jürgen Schult from the 1980s. Further down in that competition, Christian Che, 72.61, a new PB, a new Slovenian national record for him. His second time over 72 since he's been competing at Ramona in the last couple weeks. He'll have something big in store for Sunday, although I will say this weekend the weather could play a factor. We've been really blessed the last 2 editions of this meet where the weather has been pretty much perfect, but we're looking at pretty gnarly rainstorms on Saturday and Sunday mornings that could lead into the discus competitions later in the evening. So fingers crossed that the weather cooperates and we just get some glorious wins. Sam Mattis breaks the American record, 72.45 for my guy Sam. The American record, kind of a confusing one. USATF recognized a Ben Plucknett mark from 1981. World Athletics recognized a Ben Plucknett mark from 1983. But now everybody just needs to recognize 72.45 out of Sam Mattis. He enters the top 10 men in the event's history. Roger Stona, the Olympic champion, gets a new PB at 70 meters 66. Alex Rose also goes over 70 meters 70.43. In the earlier flights, a really unbelievably impressive performance out of Air Force's Texas Tanner. Texas is going to be the busiest guy in the world this weekend. Open discus competition today. He goes in the hammer tomorrow, where he's nearly a 76-meter hammer thrower. He goes in the shot put Saturday morning, where he threw 20 meters at the NCAA Indoor Championships. And then Sunday, he's back in the discus, where he's now the second best collegiate performer ever with his mark of 69.56 here today. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. Strong performance out of Joe Brown as well, going 67.02. We had a lefty flight earlier in the day to catch some more friendly wins for our lefty friends out of the hammer cage back there, and Reggie Jagers took the win in that one. The left-handed world record holder goes 69.09, just a shade off his PB. The women's side, a bit of an upset because a 30-meet win streak came to an end today for Valerie Sion. I said Valerie Allman in a tweet a couple hours ago. I made sure to get Valerie Sion right this time. Just not Val's day. 4 fouls, a lot of trouble, it seemed like, kind of on her release. A lot of those fouls were, it looked like some of them were going less than 50 meters. But she ends up in 6th place with a best mark of only 65.18 is still a really far throw, but obviously not quite to Val's standards. And so if that weather is cooperative on Saturday, it's the first time in a long time we've seen Val out for revenge. So I'm very curious to see what that would look like. The winner, the usurper today, is the World Championship silver medalist, Jorinda van Klinken, going 68.98. What an opener for Jorinda, where she has 3 throws over 68 meters. She hadn't thrown that far since she set the collegiate record at over 70 meters almost 5 years ago. And now she's back over 68. 68.98 is such a far throw. Right behind her, Alita Van Dalen of the University of Florida, redshirting this year, but she goes 67.99. That's a new PB for her, number 2 in Dutch history. About 1.5 meters onto what she already said is her personal best here. I believe Alita's PB was 2 years ago when she got the Olympic standard here. Marika Steinecker, really strong day, 66.55 for her. And then in 4th place, because of course, Melina Robert Michon, or Robert, I don't know how French I should go on the pronunciation, 65.96 at 46 years old. The series is 63.72. 59.12, 63.84, 64.95, 65.96, 63.61. Yes, it's Ramona. I understand that. The woman is 46 years old. That is absurd, and that is so cool. And what an absolute legend of the sport. Jaden Ulrich, strong day, 65.49 as well for her. And that was really good for Jaden because she had a pretty rough first 4 rounds, but then closed out really strong, building good momentum into what we should see out of her in the competition on Saturday. Let's talk a little bit more about the rest of the weekend right now, as we're being ushered out of the sector by someone still getting some training in. She's trying to kill us, so we're backing up and we're being safe. Tomorrow, right in there, we've got some intense hammer competitions. Right over there, we've got some intense javelin action. We'll start with the jav. Curtis Thompson is here, the world bronze medalist from last September. Solid opener for him a couple weeks ago in Tucson at the U.S. Winter Long Throws Nationals, but maybe not quite up to his standards. Mark Minicello got the better of him there. He'll be looking for something big. He threw, I believe, around 82 meters at this meet last year on this very runway. Not an easy thing to do when you've got these winds sometimes working against you as a javelin thrower. Donovan Banks is coming out as well, an almost 83-meter thrower in his own right, Sindri Goodmanson. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for Curtis, but it's going to be a really strong early season test, an opportunity to put a good mark out there. The women's side, Rima Odebor is the defending champion at this meet. She threw over 60 meters here last year. But then you've also got Madison Wiltrout, the U.S. runner-up last year, a multiple-time Team USA member, Maddie Harris, Ariana Ince, Sarah Blake. So the collegiate record holder, the Bahamian record holder, taking on some of the USA's best right there on that runway. Hammer competition, one of the best matchups we're going to see of the entire weekend. Cameron Rogers versus Rachel Richardson. Cameron, last week at Texas Relays, opened at 81.13, the 4th best performance in world history. Check out my full interview with Cameron where we talk a little bit about that competition and a little bit about how that sets her up for this one. Rachel Richardson, last year in this very ring, 78.80 for her opener. That was a huge PB for her. She opened her 2026 season really strong, over 76, maybe over 77 meters. I'm blanking on exactly what she threw in Tucson a few weeks ago, but Rachel is already in really, really good shape. That is going to be such a fun battle to watch. You've also got Anna Purchase. Oh my God, what? Okay, I'm checking the live results right now. Apparently Brooke Anderson has been added to this field. That's news to me. What is, okay, we've got the 2022 world champion and one of 4 women to ever throw 80 meters. Let me check in with meet director Caleb Seal and make sure that's not something inaccurate. We're doing some real-time investigative journalism here because this is insane. Caleb, is Brooke Anderson competing tomorrow?
No.
Okay. She's on the live results, and I got really confused.
That's true, but she texted me with an update.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
No, unfortunately not.
No Brooke Anderson, but we've still got Rachel Richardson versus Cameron Rogers. Anna Purchase, Jelani Davis, Callie Turzo, one of the NCAA's best, is coming out. That's going to be a fun one to watch. The men's field, maybe not as incredibly stacked at the top, but Tyler Williams, almost a 77-meter hammer thrower. Kieran McKeague, who's thrown over 76. The aforementioned Texas Tanner. Alex Young, multiple-time Team USA member. The men's comp maybe doesn't have the same big names as the women's does, but it's still going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Saturday, we got men's shot in the morning, and then lots of women's discus action. Hopefully, weather permitting, it'll be conducive to some pretty big marks. Men's shot, really fun competition. Roger Steen coming off a world indoor medal. Uziel Munoz, the reigning world outdoor silver medalist. Rajindra Campbell, the Olympic bronze medalist. We've got a really good field, and this is something that Caleb's been very intentional about. When I talked with him last year, is he wants to build out these fields. He wants to make this a place where everyone can come throw far, not just discus throwers. And so that's why, we see Cameron here this year. We see a bunch of really good shot putters. We see a really strong women's shot put field, which we'll get to in a little bit, that'll be taking place on Sunday morning. Jason Swarens, the reigning NCAA outdoor champion, now competing professionally. Formerly of Wisconsin, he's in this field as well. Nick Ponzio, Chubby Diamonds, representing OnlyFans, is in this field, so that's a fun storyline to watch. This men's shot comp is going to be really, really good. You get into the women's discus action, and now, after today, I think it makes Saturday's competition a lot more interesting, because like I said, you have Val going on a revenge tour, Yorinda. This is her first time competing here. She looked pretty comfortable. She said she thinks she's going to be a lot more comfortable now with a full competition under her belt. Alita is coming off a PB. You've got Sierra Jackson thrown into the mix, the NCAA champion out of Fresno State, who threw really well. I believe finished runner-up to Val at the USATF Winter Long Throws Nationals in Tucson. Had some really strong marks last summer. Veronica Fraley, who just threw 63 meters in the B flight of the women's discus tonight, which was just wrapping up as we were starting to record this. Marika Steinecker, the aforementioned Marika Steinecker, who threw 66 mid today with a really strong day. So that one's going to be fun. And then there are some pretty interesting names in the other flights as well. In the B flight, Jaden Ulrich, Erica Beistel. I was talking to Alex Rose today, the World Championship bronze medalist in the men's discus, who trains at Grand Valley State with Erica Beistel, and he said he had very, very strong things to say about her. Erica opened up her season, I think, at 66 mid last week, and according to Alex, completely dead wind. And last year, Erica came to this meet, and I believe she no-marked. But so she could be looking for, she hasn't really had a chance, I feel like, to reap the full benefits of Ramona. So I'm very curious to see what Erica is going to be able to do, especially considering that she's throwing out of the B flight. Jaden Ulrich is in that B flight as well, who threw 69 meters out of the C flight last year at this meet. Amanda Ngandu and Tumba, Melina Robert-Michon, Sasha Emelianov, there's just so many really good women here, and it is a disservice if you only pay attention to the A flight, because there will be incredible marks out of every single one of these flights. On Sunday, that women's shot put field, Chase Jackson, Maggie Ewan are here, Yorinda Van Klinken is here, Abby Moore, Jessica Ramsey. Oh man, this is going to be a lot of fun. Maggie was here last year, took the win pretty comfortably. Now she's joined by a lot of her friends that are going to really be trying to make sure she can't go back to back. Chase Jackson's outdoor opener coming off a world indoor title. That's going to be a really fun one to watch. Again, weather permitting, it's supposed to be a bit of a monsoon Sunday morning, so we'll see how that actually shakes out. But I trust that man, Caleb Seal, to find a way to put on a good comp, no matter what. The men's discus action, the palette was wetted today. And again, weather permitting, for the 10th time. I don't know if 75-56 is surviving the weekend. Christian Che, Maddie Denny, Roger Stona, Lawrence Okoye, Sam Mattis, new 74-meter man Stephen Richter, Alex Rose, Fedric Dakers, and that's just the A flight. Slight update to basically everything I just said from the desk of Caleb Seal. The A flight of the men's discus, which is the one featuring Christian Che, Matty Denny, Steven Richter, Sam Mattis, all those guys. They will be competing Saturday afternoon at 4:30 now instead of Sunday afternoon. The variance or the variability with the potential rain in the forecast is just too big of a risk for those top guys. So the B, C, and D flights of the men's discus and women's shot put will still be going on Sunday as scheduled. That A flight will be Saturday at 4:30. There's guys in the B and C flights that could end up throwing 70 or 71 meters. Like, sometimes you just run out of words to describe how insane Ramona is going to be. That's just the way that this works. And I'm so glad that it is, because it is the most amazing thing you will ever see. One of the really interesting things, also when I was talking to Alex Rose today, he said that, like, I've seen so many new ways that discs that go far fly here, because there's so many different ways you can throw the disc and it'll just get caught by the wind, the perfect gust, one moment, and it'll just become one of the furthest throws you've ever seen. And that's part of the beauty of this place. Wind exists, wind is natural, wind has always been here, wind is always going to be here. This is just a place that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's a 7th somewhere. I think there's 7 rings that wind doctor Caleb can kind of just go, all right, we're throwing out of that one today. And usually it works pretty well. Some other big names from the earlier flights: Reggie Jagers, Marcus Gustafson, Joe Brown, Robbie Otal, who threw a 4-meter PB here last year. Just an unbelievably nice human being. Dallin Schertz is here. He had a great day going 65 meters today. You look in that C flight, you've got Texas Tanner, Joseph White coming off a strong PB of 64.47, Chad Wright, who had a good day today, Emmanuel Sousa, who had a really good day today. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait. This is the meet. I was talking to Joe Frontier, who's going to be on the broadcast, on the Thursday University broadcast with me. Him, Joe, and Dan McQuaid are going to be on play-by-play. I'm going to be in the sideline grabbing some interviews, giving some general updates from the competition. And I was talking with Joe, and it's just like, this is the meet to circle on your calendar every single year now. And it is so special, and it is so much fun. And it's just throwers being throwers. And that is a really beautiful, lovely thing. If you are anywhere within the Ramona, Oklahoma area, or if you have enough expendable income to buy a last-minute plane ticket to Tulsa and then rent a car or get a $45 Uber and come to Throwtown, Ramona on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, or preferably all 3, it will be worth your trip, because this place is absolutely awesome. For those of you that won't be able to make it, like I said, it'll be streaming on Thursday University and USATF.tv. You'll have Joe Frontier of Throw Big, Throw Far, Dan McQuaid of MC Throws on the play-by-play call, myself, Paulie Throws, down in the sideline, talking to some of the best throwers in the world. And stay tuned to Paulie Throws for some awesome photo dumps from the wonderful, amazingly talented Audrey Allen. We got some fun new graphic templates, also by the wonderful, amazingly talented Audrey Allen. We'll have interviews coming out, clips from the broadcast, I believe. There will be a lot of good stuff. So stay tuned to all of the Paulie Throws channels. That's the word I was looking for. And also, we'll be doing live recaps every single night. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, stay tuned for those. It's the best week of throwing, and we need to treat it that way. So this is the place to be. If you guys aren't here, you should try and be here, because it's amazing. And we'll see you this weekend from Throwtown.